Every product starts with a journey. At Yazaki, that journey begins long before a single part is made or a truck hits the road. It begins with a plan, a vision, and the people who bring it to life are the supply chain and purchasing teams. Before we build, we plan. What do our customers need? When do they need it? That's where the One Demand Plan comes in, our unified approach to forecasting demand across the globe.
We work collectively with cross-functional teams to come up with a One Demand Plan.
So it's a monthly cadence where the customer will send over the EDI forecast, and at the beginning of every month, the BU will review it and they'll make their adjustments. They have a number of data points that they look at. IHS, we're starting to explore AI as a possibility, and then they'll make the best decision. That will then get presented to the leadership team and say, this is what our forecast is gonna be. Once approved, then it'll get passed on to PCD. PCD creates a plan to manufacturing within their capabilities, and then from there we execute that. So everybody is in agreement in lockstep all throughout the entire process. And it allows us to project out at least 18 months, both financially as well as our inventory levels, what our expenses are going to be. So there's a lot of key driving factors that come from this one plan.
Prior to the One Demand Plan, we would just drive customer demand straight to manufacturing. And then different groups within the organization would try to second guess the information based off historical consumptions or some analytics. And since we've implemented it, we've seen a significant improvement in our inventory levels. We've seen improvements in regards to our on-time delivery, and there are still challenges that we have, but overall we've seen great numbers through our performance from an inventory perspective, premium freight perspective, and obsolescence.
So it gets PCD, manufacturing, operations, everybody in line, and we're not second guessing it as it goes along.
It's not just about numbers, it's about alignment between customers, engineering, manufacturing, and every link in the chain. Once the plan is in place, we source the materials that make it real. From raw copper and aluminum to precision engineered components, our purchasing team secures the resources that power our products.
We have a very complicated supply chain and a complex manufacturing footprint. The main challenge is to ensure that we have the right material arriving at our facilities at the right time with the right content.
When we source a component, we work closely with the business units, engineering, supplier quality. We need to make sure that the supplier is capable of meeting the rigorous standards that Yazaki demands. Before we ever purchase a component, we go into the supplier's plant, we do an assessment, we make sure they're capable to meet all of our demands. So when we're doing an assessment comparing different suppliers, we look at, of course, the price that the supplier will sell us the component for, but we also have to do a more holistic landed cost study. But we have to look at the entire picture. And sometimes the cheapest component, piece price-wise, isn't necessarily the best decision for Yazaki. So we work closely with our supply chain team in those analyses. We bought 8 million kilometers of wire last year, and we bought 2 million kilometers of tape. We spend about $2.5 billion in P84. That was 34 billion different components that are assembled into ours.
Every contract, every supplier, every shipment, carefully chosen to deliver quality and value. Next, it's time to move. Our logistics team coordinates the flow of materials from ports and warehouses to our manufacturing plants.
We have strategic objectives that our team wants to meet, making sure we have the material, regardless of whether that's raw material for the manufacturing plants or finished goods for our customers. We want to make sure we have it at the right place at the right time. And in doing so, we want to make sure that we have the most cost-effective price.
Timing is everything, because when materials arrive on time, production stays on track, and our customers stay satisfied. Once assembled, our products don't sit still for long. Finished goods are routed to our distribution centers, where they're staged for delivery to customers across the Americas.
So the supply chain team coordinates and tracks over 142,000 shipments per year. That averages about 12,000 per month. In addition, we also coordinate 19,000 expedite shipments per year. The YNCA supply chain spans 27 countries across 5 continents. Our new SAP TMS system allows us to track our shipments. We are working toward having more frequent GPS tracking updates from our carriers. We do have that in some cases, but we need to improve upon that so we can know where our shipments are at any time and as well know what's on each of those shipments. So that real-time data gives us the opportunity to make alternate plans and track by exception those shipments that are not on schedule and may impact us or our customers.
So logistics and distribution teams work together to ensure we're filling the equipment that we use, the facilities that we have. We also make sure that our distribution locations are centralized and we have good routes for the trucks to ensure that where we bring the product, the customer can get it. So up front, they plan the loads. They say we have this many loads coming out of this manufacturing site. And then through that, at the crossdock is where we really combine things to make sure if we're going north, we're sending full trucks. We're not sending half trucks or 3/4. We're filling that truck and making sure it's 100% utilized. We'll combine different manufacturing sites. Some may build this car line, some may build this car line, and we're combining them and we're making sure that we're getting the best utilization that we can. So with supply chain, with leadership support, we're looking into autonomous forklifts. We have cycle counting drones that we're working with. The PCD team is working with AI to get their inventory numbers and predicting what it should be, what it can be, and again, helping us along the way to make sure that we have the right inventory in the right spots.
But even the best plans face headwinds. Tariffs, trade shifts, supply chain disruption, things can change overnight. And when they do, the cost is high. Extraordinary expense, often driven by premium freight or inventory imbalances, can impact our bottom line in a big way.
There are multiple factors that cause an extraordinary expenses. So for instance, we have unplanned production demand changes, either driven by our customers or driven by us. Another factor is unforeseen circumstances, such as transportation blockades and port congestions.
Well, extraordinary expenses is premium freight, but also rework and obsolescence. But our primary spend is in premium freight. Most of the premium freight is driven because of customers' last-minute order changes. We do hold the customer accountable for changes that they made that violate our lead time agreements. And then there are also some business aspects that just create premium freight.
The changing landscape that we're seeing right now probably is unprecedented. It's impacting the US, it's also impacting Mexico. We saw this back in 2018 when the first tariffs were imposed into Chinese goods, that we needed to do something different. And that really prepared us for all the actions that we're taking currently.
From the purchasing side, when we're considering the raw materials that we purchase, there's a considerable tariff impact that we became aware of early on, and we started working right away to mitigate what we could. At first, we saw a potential impact to Yazaki of about $50 million annually if we did nothing to mitigate tariffs. So what we started doing straight away was basically negotiating with every supplier who sells us parts from outside the US. We looked at changing where we purchase the part. We look at changing the in-bond, the logistical details of how the part reaches our facilities. And then we also looked at resourcing suppliers where we couldn't find a way to mitigate the tariff. And so going from that initial $50 million potential impact, we were able to reduce the impact to Yazaki to the single-digit millions of dollars. So we're not done yet. We're continuing to work on that. One other interesting fact is as we were renegotiating these logistics and supply routes, we actually found logistical savings of around $1 million. I would also say that the tariff impact that we've not been able to mitigate, we're working closely with our customer business unit teams to see what we can pass through to our customers. Obviously, that's a really delicate discussion, but it's not something we can stomach as Yazaki to absorb these costs.
That's why agility matters. Better forecasting, smarter routing, stronger supplier relationships. Every decision we make upstream helps reduce costs downstream. From the first forecast to the final delivery, every step of the journey matters, and every team member plays a role. Together, we move Yazaki forward, one shipment, one solution, one success at a time.